Hello and welcome to another tutorial for the Calm Watercolor Studio. Today we're exploring 12 beautiful watercolor leaf textures using simple beginner-friendly techniques. One of the things I love most about watercolor is how many beautiful textures you can create with just paint, water, and a few everyday tools. We'll be experimenting with soft wet-on-wet blooms, salt textures, masking fluid, with wax candles or pencils, and more, all in a calm and relaxing practice session. So grab your paints, get comfortable, and let's paint together. And if you'd like to practice these leaves textures later, you can find the printable worksheet linked down below in the description. So let's begin with a soft wet-on-wet texture. Start by wetting the leaf shape with clear water. And now I'm adding the green colors, trying to make like a gradient, lighter on top and darker on the bottom. And just let the color bleed into the water and create that soft blend. And now with a clean brush I will get some water and not overload my brush. Once the leaf has settled for a few minutes but is still wet, drop in dots of clean water from the end of your brush to create water blooms. So now just let it dry and it will create a beautiful textured effect. For this leaf we are adding more color variation, so paint the leaf with clean water first, then paint with a lighter green watercolor. Watercolor blends beautifully when we let it move naturally. So now I will get my second color, a darker green, and I will drop from the tip of my brush into the wet leaf and create this darker watercolor blooms. Now for this one I will wet my leaf and then I will paint it with different shades of green to create like a gradient from light to dark. And now with the paint still wet, I will gently draw lines using the back of my brush handle to create soft veins. Leaf 4, salt texture. This one is my favorite, using salt. Now let's create texture with salt. Paint the leaf with watercolors. Make sure they're a little bit darker, so the more dark the more the effect will appear. Then when they're still wet, sprinkle a little bit of salt on top and let it dry. As it dries, the salt will absorb the pigments and it will create fantastic textures. Once dry, gently brush the salt away. Leaf 5, plastic wrap texture. For this texture we are using plastic wrap. Paint the leaf first, then place a small piece of plastic wrap over the wet paint. Leave it to dry completely before removing it. This creates beautiful abstract textures and natural looking details. So now just place the plastic wrap on top of the paint and leave it there to dry. If you lift it, it will lose the effect. Leaf 6, bubble wrap texture. This one is a playful and fun one. Just going to paint here the leaf with, again, green colors. After painting the leaf, gently press the bubble wrap onto the wet watercolor and let it dry. Then lift it and you can see the textures it created. Leaf 7. Alcohol texture. Now for a fun watercolor effect. So I'm just going to paint the leaf with different shades of green to create variation. Added the alcohol to a little container so I can use it. Then add a few tiny drops of rubbing alcohol while the paint is still wet. Watch how the pigment moves away and creates beautiful blooms textures. Every result will look slightly different. Leaf 8. Masking fluid. This technique helps preserve highlights. So now I'm using the masking fluid to create the vines inside the leaf and some little dots. This one is very useful because it has like a tip, but you also can find some masking fluids that you can use with a brush. So now just let it dry. So once it's completely dry, let's paint. I'm going to use some different shades of green again. Really greeny this tutorial. So now just let it dry. Leaf 9. Medium granulation. For this leaf we are experimenting with granulation medium. So first we paint the leaf with different shades of green, and then we add drops of the granulation medium with a clean brush, just little drops on top of the leaf. And just let it dry, and it will create a granulation texture. Leaf 10. Sponge texture. This texture is perfect for loose organic effects. Use a sponge to gently dab watercolor onto the paper. So let's start by painting the leaf. Using different sponges get different effects. I'm using a coral sponge, the sponge into the paint, and tap it onto the watercolor leaf. And this time I let it dry a little bit, and then I repeat the process, dip the sponge into the paint and tap into the leaf. So to create more interesting layers of texture, I just let it dry again and repeat the process. Leaf 11. Paper towel texture. Sometimes simple tools create beautiful effects. While the paint is still wet, gently press the paper towel onto the leaf. This leaves some of the pigment and creates soft highlights and textures, perfect for adding movement and softness. Leaf 12. Wax candles or pencils. And finally, let's try wax candles. Before painting, draw a few leaf veins using white wax candle. Then, when watercolor is added, the wax resists the paint and reveals delicate details underneath. A simple and beautiful finish technique. here they are, all of them dried. Now I will remove the plastic wrap and create that texture in the bubble wrap, and that is the texture it created. And here the masking fluid, we're going to rub it off with the back of a brush or your hand, and it will come off. And there we have it, 12 simple watercolor leaf techniques for beginners. I hope this tutorial helps you feel a little more confident with watercolor and inspire you to experiment without worrying about perfection. Remember, watercolor is all about curiosity, softness, and learning to enjoy the process. If you don't know how to draw, I created a printable watercolor worksheet that you can download down below in the description. They are perfect for painting along at your own pace and revisiting this technique anytime you want. If you enjoyed painting with me today, don't forget to like, subscribe, and leave a little comment to let me know which leaf texture was your favorite. Well, mine definitely is salt. Thank you so much for being here, and I will see you in the next peaceful painting session. Bye!